a song and we will be live.
Christian and unite, for the people we will fight. This a man's world, in a man's house. We gon' deal with stanky holes, or swanky monksy. You know, Satan, the righteous edge, the righteous edge. Only this a man's world, in a man's house. We don't deal with stanky holes or sweat. Don't get monkey mouths at the right side. Only a true man can understand or understand the righteousness. Ooh, no, the righteousness. He'll slap you in the mouth with holy hands at the righteous edge. The righteous edge. Niggas be running their mouth, acting like who was the couch. You don't know what I know. I'll split you with the Bible on the righteous edge. Call me what you want. You are still a punk. Christians running unite, for the people we will fight. This a man's world in a man's house. We don't deal with stanky holes or sweat. Don't get monkey mouths at the right side. Now when they think you at the righteous edge, the righteous edge. Oh no, only a true man can.
And my wife, not in that order of importance. My mom, my sister, wife. I'll just call y'all by your first names. We discussed it. Chantel. I'm not gonna call my mom by her first name. Mom. And then my wife, Michelle. So we're gonna be discussing some things that I think are important for women today. And so we're gonna do some things and we're gonna discuss something that I think has been throwing the internet into complete chaos. We're gonna start tame, but then we're gonna get into something that's actually going. I don't know if you, Michelle, my wife, she always into a lot of like what's going on the internet. Have you seen the stuff with Allie Beth Stuckey?
Which part?
She did that presentation at like Topi USA or TPU, whatever it's called.
Yeah, TP.
Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I mean, I saw the headlines, but
okay, we're gonna be going over that today. We're gonna be going over something that Bodie Bacham, one of the people I looked up to that has passed away. He had something that I thought was really, really relevant. He taught on. But I want you guys to really pay attention and see what is the real cause for the downfall of society. Okay? Because it's not just one thing. But let's go into right away. Let's go into the video with Bodie Bacham, and I'll pull it up. Let's see. Hold on 1 sec. Give me a sec, Mr. Producer, because
Very as soon as possible.
For some reason, my phone just shut. I'm gonna play it. Ready? Oh, you know what? I've been on
mute the whole time.
That's not good.
Whoops.
Well, this is Jack Bravo at the Righteous Edge. If you guys didn't hear me.
You're on.
All right. Can y'all hear me now? You want to turn it back to the big screen because I did my whole intro and I was on mute. This is the type of stuff that we be going through. What's up, you guys? This is Jack Bravo at the Righteous Edge. So what we gonna be going over is I have all the ladies in my life, the most important ones, and they're here. We're gonna be discussing a lot of things, and we want to get a godly Christian woman's perspective, not a loose woman, not a 304, not one of these weird women of the night. We want to get godly women's perspective. And I can vouch for every woman here that they are godly. Do you guys want to introduce yourself again? Because we did that before, but go ahead. Any way you want.
Hi, I'm Michelle. You've seen me before.
All right.
Hi, I'm Chantel. I'm Jack's sister.
All right. You got to hold the mic when you talk for this one.
Knew that.
All
I'm
right.
Chantel. I'm Jack's sister.
right.
And I'm Jeremy's mom.
All right. So, let's go right into it since we wasted time while my mic was muted. We'll play this and then
That my children will marry as soon as possible.
we'll do this. We'll wait till you get it up, Mr. Producer. Here we go. All right, you ready? All right.
As possible. As soon as possible. When we hear that and it sounds foreign. Wait a minute, dude, are you crazy? No, I'm not. I'm Christian. Here's the thing.
9-year-old child and ask them, do you have any idea where you think you'd like your child to go to college? Of course I do. Do you have any idea what your child needs to do between now and then in order to get into the kind of college that you want them to go to? And are you doing anything right now in your child's life to prepare them at 8 or 9 in order to be qualified and ready when that time comes? Of course. When we chose the house that we live in, the first question we asked was about the schools. Everything we do in our children's lives is about preparing them for when they go to college. Great. Same parent, same 8 or 9-year-old. Are you doing anything to prepare your child for their marriage? It's amazing. College, we got it all mapped out, and everything we do is geared toward getting into the right college. Marriage, they leave the house one day and we hope they come back with a good one. That's wrong, people. That's absolutely wrong. My goal is to do everything possible right now in my children's life to prepare them as soon as possible to be ready to take the mantle and be husbands and wives and mothers and fathers. That's what we're preparing them for. Because newsflash, my education is nowhere near as important as my marriage. Some of you are uncomfortable right now because we're talking about this stuff. Because we are so immersed in the culture that when we talk about these things from a biblical perspective, it's like that's crazy. If there's any place where we've been lied to by the culture, it's in the area of marriage and family and parenting. We've been lied to by our culture. And so because of that, we don't think biblically in those areas. We don't think biblically about marriage. We don't. We see marriage as something to be avoided like the plague. And so the attitude of the average Christian family toward their children is, I want them to wait as long as possible before getting married. That's our attitude. That's the attitude with which our children grow up. Wait as long as humanly possible before you get married. Don't do it unless you just have to. That's our attitude. Bridget and I got married the summer between my sophomore and junior years in college. I just turned 20 years old. I didn't even have a driver's license. I went and got a driver's license so I could get a marriage license so we could get married, okay? And so because I was 20 and because I was still in college, there were people who cried because we got married. They cried. The Bible says a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. They cried because I found my good thing. Why? Because we believe marriage is a curse and not a blessing. It's horrible. It's terrible. Avoid it as long as you possibly can. That's what we teach our children. And so here's the attitude that we try to give to our children. We say, our sons, talking about my sons, sons, here's what I want you to do. I want you one day, as far away from this day as possible, to look a young woman in the eye and say, I've sucked all the fun and joy out of life. Now I'm ready to marry you and die. That's what we're teaching our children to communicate. Have your fun, because when you're married, it's over. Enjoy life, because when you're married, you won't. Suck all of the joy and marrow and happiness out of life. Have all of the experiences you can. And then, if you must, get married and end it all. That's what we communicate. We're wrong on marriage because the culture's wrong on marriage.
All right. So, what do you guys think about that? Anybody can speak up. It doesn't matter. Yeah, y'all can unmute. You don't have to press it that hard. Yo, we can just talk freely. Y'all wait for a turn.
Go first. So.
All right. So I'll speak on it then, since y'all acting shy like y'all don't be talking.
I didn't want to talk over mommy. I thought she was gonna speak.
Okay.
No.
So in our culture, is what he said true or not? Have you guys seen this in your personal lives?
I think, yeah, it's definitely true.
Is it true with women and men, or just true with one side or the other?
I think it's true.
You gotta
of
speak
women.
up though.
I think it's true of women. I think it's particularly true in the Black community. I don't see people being pushed for marriage at all. for our young Black people at all anymore. In fact, I see a lot of young Black professional women doing what he said his sons do. Like go out, travel, and go out and build your career and do all of these things before you get tied down to some man and ruin your body with a bunch of babies. And I see people doing that. And then they're getting married later and later in life, having babies later and later in life, and pushing everything back and not doing it the way it's supposed to be, if they do it at all.
What is convincing men and women to do this?
Self-centeredness.
Okay. Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, life revolves around them and what they think in their mind makes them happy. So what makes them happy is doing whatever they want. Nothing, and they consider marriage to be something that holds you down, like he had said. And they just think that I want to do what I want to do. I want to, like Chantel said, I want to travel. I want to go to school. I want to get my career. I want to do this. And that's why you see them postponing marriage, postponing having babies, postponing all these things, because everything is all geared about them. And so I think that is part of it, the self-centeredness.
Is there a philosophy that's pushing this?
Feminism.
Yeah.
It really comes from that. And there's two sides to that too, because I think you also have this push on the female side to use marriage as like a jumping off point for financial stability in some communities, where it's like marry somebody who's successful so that you can divorce them and then take half of their wealth, and they're a good starter husband.
Yeah.
And then you also have the other side where it's like so much career. And it's almost flipped from when I was younger. I don't know that I paid attention that much, but flipped to the point where more men would like to be married. But the women aren't there because they would rather either pursue career or they're just not in it for the long haul.
I think that feminism is so dangerous that it's crept in to pretty much every aspect of people's lives. For the women, it's done a lot of damage. And then for the men, what it's done is, because men have gotten weaker and they're more responsive than they are active. What's happening with a lot of the feminist philosophy is they've been told that through the sexual revolution and everything else, you can go out and have as many sexual adventures as you want with nobody being locked down. And women have been taught that's empowering, and men have been taught that that's an adventure, to go out and conquer as many women as possible and to settle down later in life after you had your fun. And so for the women, they do this thing where they want to pursue a career, and then they want to go and gather all and accumulate all these things, houses, status, all this stuff, and then settle down and be married in their late 30s when their eggs is all gone. And then the men want to go out and conquer everything, and they want to go and sleep with 50 women before they get married. They want to go and go to frat parties and get drunk and party. And everybody wants to do this thing because their philosophy is like what you said, Mom, is all about yourself first. Everything is selfish, and everything is about, I want to fulfill myself. It's not about legacy or family or being selfless to your wife or putting your children first. None of that. I think feminism has really indoctrinated women's minds. And I think it's, in turn, men at first thought it was a great thing when women said in the 70s, oh, free love. Everybody can just go sleep around with no strings attached. But then reality hit that, guess what? Just when the women are saying that, they not talking about you. They only talking about the highest basketball players. You said what now?
I said or each other.
Yeah, or each other. But they have gotten the women have, when they have that choice, when they have the fact of they get to pursue a man simply because of what attracts them and what makes them tingly, instead of what makes a good father, what makes a good family. When they choose based on those things, the things that are superficial, they choose terrible men. And in the Black community, we see the results of that. Mm-hmm. They don't choose good fathers.
I think one of the things that people don't realize about feminism and the mindset behind it is it's not just about equality or empowering women. It's very anti-God. Anything that's his design.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people in our generation have grown up seeing failed marriages.
Yep.
Or people stay in marriages that, they were unhappy and they were dissatisfied, and now they think marriage doesn't work. But when you think about when marriage was designed at the time of creation, God sat back and said that all of his work was good.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing he made was a couple, a husband and wife. And I think people look at that and they forget that marriage is supposed to be a beautiful thing. And if you do it correctly, it is a beautiful thing. And then you'll see people like me and my brothers, where we grew up in a home that did have a godly marriage and had people fulfilling the roles that they were supposed to, and made us go out and want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Then I think when people see that in their home, they see broken marriages and broken relationships, they go out and they do the same thing.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that people have a fear of loyalty and commitment and accountability too. You'll see that even when it comes to people don't like anything that they think ties them down.
Yeah.
So they don't want to become a member of a church.
Well,
They
so,
don't want to.
yeah.
They don't want to
Mhm.
be married to somebody that they have to say in front of the law, we are joined together forever. Or they don't value that like God does. God values commitment and faithfulness and loyalty and all those things. And now we have a society that wants to go as far away from anything that says you are committed to this.
That you have any duties
Right.
whatsoever.
Exactly.
Because you ask people, what is a duty that you have? Especially women, I'm not gonna lie. If you ask them, what is a duty you have to your husband? Most of them cannot answer. They don't have any answer. It's like, I'm supposed to be sent here to get free stuff. And I'm supposed to be, if you're not making me happy, I'm out. And we see that statistically. They do believe that, because 80% of divorces are by women, right? And what's being taught is the feminists. They all say, I'm not happy. It's not infidelity that's causing the marriage. It's not abuse that's causing the marriage. It's simply, I'm not happy. Now, here's the thing. I'm not just trying to beat up on women either, because what's happened with men is men have gotten so weak, they don't know how to lead their homes anymore. So they sit there and they just cry about their wife telling them what to do and talk about my old ball and chain. I got to listen to my wife. Whatever she says goes. And then they wonder why their wife is no longer attracted to them. They don't have no zeal, no passion about anything. They don't know how to lead, and they're too scared to lead because they're scared somebody going to be mad at them. So all of this combines and made the perfect storm for why marriage is going so downhill now. Men are wanting to stay little boys. They don't want to anger anybody. A lot of them in the black community have been raised by single mothers. They don't know how to be men in the first place. So then when they get with a woman, they try their best to do all this superficial stuff to make her happy, like buying her stuff. And they don't know that every family needs structure, needs male leadership, needs somebody to say no sometimes, needs somebody to say, we're going to go this direction. And that what actually attracts a woman is having a purpose that goes towards God. When you're on a purpose, a woman will say, man, that guy's going somewhere. But if you don't have no purpose and you're just sitting in your house playing video games, watching whatever on the internet, why would a woman ever be attracted to that? She don't want to attach herself to that for the rest of her life. You know? So on this channel, we are non-biased. We tell men stop being losers. We tell women, if you get married, you should submit to your husband.
I think it was interesting in that video too, how he said people are raising their children and they have such a course for their life and talking about college and stuff, but not marriage. And I think, like when I was talking before about seeing those things and changing the trajectory of your life because you don't want to be hurt like your mother does. You didn't want to get cheated on like your dad did, or whatever happened in your home. That was terrible. And I think you see that today when people are raising their kids. They don't want their daughter to ever have to depend on a man.
Yep.
And they don't ever want them to be tied to somebody else. They don't want them to have this commitment. But Christians shouldn't be doing that.
And don't you think that they want marriage to be this fantasy thing of never being sad ever, which is
no
so
relationship
stupid.
is ever like that. Parenting isn't like that.
If you could have
If you think that no wonder the abortions are so high. If they think that every relationship is supposed to bring you nothing but happiness all the time, what type of fantasy world do you live in?
If your relationship is with another person,
You're going to have some
you're going to have
conflict.
some hardships. You're going to have some disagreements, some arguments, sometimes where you are unhappy.
Yeah.
But does your unhappiness mean that you're in the wrong place? Not necessarily.
Right.
You know?
Or you going to say something, Michelle?
Well, on that, it goes back even further because a lot of times we want to shelter our kids from all of that. And sometimes you have to let your kids go through the hard stuff so that they can accomplish something and feel that victory. And when you don't, then they grow up thinking, well, my parents made it so I never had to struggle. I never had to go through hardships.
Mhm.
If I got in a fight at school, they were up at the school ready to throw fists too.
Yeah.
And so we really are failing our kids when we don't train them for what is truly important. And it's not that you negate education completely. It can be beneficial, but it's not the end all be all. And I see too many, even in the Christian community, really pushing their kids towards the college experience and
Yep.
having that without even any thought of what is more important. And they'll think about like, well, if something happens, they need to be able to have a career. But God doesn't think like that.
Yep.
He orders our steps and he knows
Mhm.
what's going to come. You might get that degree and never ever use it. And then what?
Mhm.
You just wasted that time.
Mhm.
And you could have had 4 extra years with a person building a life together.
Yep.
I think
I was
one
gonna
of
s- oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think one of the things we do as a society, again, more so in the Black community, is we push our girls out into the world and make sure they have
Mhm.
everything they need, but then we coddle the boys.
Oh, yes, they do that.
And I was just telling I have
And it
2
does
daughters.
the exact opposite
and-
of what's necessary for each.
Right. And I was just telling my daughters, like last week, they were talking about like going to college and stuff. And they said, could we live here? How long can we live here?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, honestly, as girls, you can live here until you get married. You should stay under the protection of your husband until we can transfer that
Yep.
protection
I don't mind that.
under my husband, your father, until you have the protection of your own husband. And they said, what about the boys? I was like, the boys need to go out and figure out how to be husbands.
Yep.
They're going to have to be somebody's protection. So I might push them out before I push you guys out
Yeah.
because they have a higher responsibility. Not a higher, but they have a different responsibility of being the protector.
I think it is a higher responsibility.
Yeah.
It's because it's not only is it different, but as a man, you are responsible for your household and if it fails or not.
And I think we do the reverse where
Yep.
we push the girls out right away. It's like, you need to establish
Mhm.
yourself so you don't have to depend on anybody. But my baby boy can stay with me as long as he
But I
wants to.
think one of the things, like, and we're gonna see with the Allie Beth Stuckey story, men are really, really getting frustrated, and some of it is unwarranted. Because we're gonna talk about some of that too. They're taking their anger out on the wrong people, but some of it is warranted because what's happening now in society is people are constantly jumping on men and saying men have to do this, they got to do that, they got to provide, they got to be this good husband, they got to go out and make money, and part of that is true. Men should not complain when they're being told to be a provider, but then the question comes, what are women doing to prepare to be good wives? And you get crickets if you ask a room full of Christian women, what are you doing to prepare to be a good wife? And then if you say anything, the world has configured it to everything sounds misogynistic. So if you tell a woman, hey, you should learn how to cook for your family. Oh, their heads start exploding, even in a Christian group. If you tell a woman, you should submit to your husband as unto the Lord. What? What? As unto the Lord? That's the Bible. That's exactly what it says. And then if you tell a woman, you know what? Your husband makes the final decision. What if he wrong? What if this? What if that? The Bible doesn't say what if. It just says do. So oftentimes what I find out is men are scared to stand on the truth. So therefore they don't hold their wife to that standard either. And then what's been happening in the church is not holding women accountable at all. So when you got a whole bunch of rebellious, like in the Black community, the Black community is ran I believe it's a matriarchy. I believe that in the Black community, women are running everything. Do y'all disagree? Ma, you look like you disagree.
Huh?
Do you disagree?
No.
I think that in the black community, women are raising the kids, 80% of them. Women are raising these men, these funky bald-headed, see, I'm not gonna call
Don't say
names.
it.
I will
Don't say
respect
it.
y'all because my mom is here. But a lot of these women are growing up, they raising Daquans and Bujayjays. And when they grow up in these households, they become thugs because that's what their mother was attracted to. And then, like you said before, they coddle them and make them soft. And then they complain about, where's all the men at? Well, why'd you sleep with Bujayjay? You slept with Bujayjay and made 3 more Bujayjays, got on the EBT card, and now we got a whole hood full of Bujayjays. Why? It's like when I was a young man, one of the reasons why it was a frustrating thing for me to be a black, conservative, educated young man was it was ostracized. It was not looked at as cool in the black community.
Mhm.
Everything, whatever I talked about, my points of view, it was like, he one of them. Well, and then you start turning and you be like, dude, okay, well, if that's the way, some men are with weak minds will be like, he ain't getting no attention. He not getting no love from his own community. Why should I be like that? Why should I be educated?
Think of the guys with 3 kids they're not taking care of, making fun of you because you were taking a stance to be pure.
Yeah. Yep. That
I was
happened
thinking
all
about.
the time.
I was at a program last week for the kids at the school, and the parents was on the they were on the stage, and one of the things that the parents said was, as I teach my kids that it's okay for men to cry,
Oh.
it's okay for men to wear pink, and it's okay. I was like, what? You know, women want a leader,
Gay.
a protector, and they want a leader, a protector, and a provider. Now,
Yeah.
when something go wrong, we can't both be crying. So, you know, I just was like, what? What did he say? That is so on the wrong page. But yeah,
They lie because women. Why do they say they even like that? They don't like them type of dudes. What type of woman want a dude to really be crying? Like snot in the nose crying. I'm not talking about your brother just died or something. I'm talking about straight up snot in the nose crying. I just don't know what we gonna do. Imagine a man. It's disgusting to me. And women will pretend they like that, but I don't. Maybe y'all could give me some insight. Why do some women pretend they like that?
Well, I think they do like it.
You think they like it?
Well, hear me out. Momentarily. Like, I think in the moment they're like, oh, he's being vulnerable. And that makes them feel like, oh, he trusts me. But then they grow to resent that. Because like you said, we can't both be crying.
Yeah.
I need somebody to balance me out. Like, what is it? We can't have the same equipment. Like, you
Right.
just, it doesn't work.
Some
God's
people say you can, and they march in the streets.
God's design is for our benefit and for our good. And when you go against that, it's gonna end in chaos. You can pretend, you can keep up the front for a while, but that's also why divorce is so high, because half the time women don't know what they really want.
What? But why? I don't know why some people will say something that they know is not true. Women will say, "I want a man." They'll say these phrases like, one of the phrases that disgusts me to no end is, "We're partners." I'm not a partner with my wife. She's right there. For those who don't know, I'm saying this in front of her. I am not a partner where we're both working we're doing the same job and we just take different shifts. That is not it. The husband is head of the house, and then the wife, and then the children. There's no, well, we're all the same here. And then we all have to make this democratic decision to no, I respect my wife's opinion because I love her. But I don't go and be like, you know what, honey, this time you're taking the lead. That's not how it works.
But some of that is because of our selfishness, and people don't mature. Like, they just stay in this adolescent mindset because they're not forced to have responsibility. And that's like part of marriage, is having to grow up and deal with stuff, because it can be hard. And when you don't have that maturity you still think those things that you thought were cool as a teenager are still cool. And that's when you're younger, you're like, oh, this boy really likes me. He's crying for me. Like, he's crying because I'm leaving this room, whatever. And then you grow up and you're like, ugh.
I don't know, but I'll cry.
I
What
think
is
one
that
of the
song?
things,
That's dang, what is that group? No, I don't forgot. Never mind.
yeah, when my husband and I were in premarital counseling, one of the challenges that we were given, and I think it's a good one for people who want to get married or want to be a husband or be a wife. The challenge was to me is like if it was just you and him in a room and you had to obey whatever he said for 2 hours, would you trust him not to do anything that's going to hurt you
Yeah.
or be something that
That's
was
actually a really good
inappropriate?
question.
And then asked my husband if she had to do whatever you said for 2 hours, what would you ask her to do? Would you ask her to do something that you know she would never do on her own? Would you ask her to do something that was harmful to her or shameful or disrespectful? And you want to be that type of husband
Yeah.
where the woman would trust you. And you want to be the type of wife where he would never ask you to do something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that always stayed with me, that
No, that's a
challenge.
good point. I never really thought about it like that. It kind of goes into we've been talking about a lot of things that go into our next point. Because have you guys heard of what's been going on with the government shutdown? What you know, Ma? Have you heard about it? You about to say, no, you don't. Don't try to tame yourself. Save.
Bunch of money grabbing suckers out there who need to be working a job instead of being on Snap.
Yeah, did you see the guy I talked about last week who was crying about being on EBT? A grown man. I wish I had the clip. But he was crying because he used to be a well-known songwriter for Chris Brown. And yeah, and Chris Brown has since made like $90 million. Chris Brown is super rich. One of the highest paid musicians of our time, right? And so he wrote the song Deuces for Chris Brown. Deuces. You remember that song and it was very, very popular like maybe 10 years ago. And what happened is this dude has had a bunch of legal troubles, baby mama drama, beat up his baby mom while they was driving on the highway, went to prison. I don't know about drugs. Drugs weren't involved in that case, but I'm sure he was using drugs. That's the type of person he was. So he beat up his baby mom or one of his girlfriends at the time. He had 2 different baby mamas that he paying child support on. They upped his child support, and then he came on this talk show and he started crying, saying, Chris Brown, you can't give me no money. You know I got court. You know I got an EBT card. And then he was like, he thought for a second. He's like, this ain't fair, man. I got an EBT card. And I wrote these songs for Chris Brown. And his friends comforting him and everything. And I was like, you big softy. You was on top of the world and you made bad decisions. You as a man don't get to cry when your family needs some help. When they need to eat, you don't get to cry and say, I got an EBT. I mean, even that EBT card belonged to me. I'm paying for it. You sitting over here crying, you better give me some snacks next time I see you. Talking about you got an EBT card. We got an EBT card.
I heard somebody say something that was so true. And it was like, the power of the government. They have the power to give you food and they have the power to take it away.
Yep.
And I was like, wow.
It's
Okay,
true.
when you become dependent on the government, that's the power you give them, right?
Yeah. And that's kind of what they want black folk to do, isn't it? Because when you take that money and you take that EBT card, now you're dependent on the government, and then all the politician has to come and do and say, look what we gave you. You don't want that to go away now, do you? And then black folks say, we're voting Democrat for the next 110 years.
Now, I remember because before I got saved, I made some poor choices myself. And I was on government assistance for a while because I was a single mother. I had a little girl. But my goal was to get off.
Yeah.
And not to get off because somebody gave me a handout. Was to get myself to a position where I did not need help.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband helped me do that. And that was something that he celebrated when we didn't need the government to
Right.
step in and take care of our responsibilities, because
Right.
feeding our family is our responsibility, not the government's.
Mm-hmm.
And people look at it as if this should be given to me. Like, I shouldn't have to work
Well,
and pay
it's funny
for
you
my
mentioned that.
kids' groceries. It's like, that's not the goal. The goal isn't to be dependent.
So, with you saying that, people saying this, let me play something for y'all. And we'll wait. We'll wait till Mr. Producer get it up. It's on. Yeah, it's that one. Tell me when you're ready, Mr. Producer.
It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids. They cut off EBT since the shutdown. I can't use EBT in November. I got 7 kids with 7 daddies. Who's supposed to feed them? Them men ain't paying.
Let me keep it real. I never really noticed all the EBT drama before. Why?
Is that a representation, a good representation of things that you've seen in the areas we grew up? It's pretty good, right? It's crazy to me.
I
that
shouldn't say
people
good.
have
It is
the-
accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate.
It's accurate.
This is what's astonishing to me. We don't have any shame anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The goal to put yourself, to set up a phone and say,
I have 7 baby
I have 7 baby daddies, I have 7 kids, or somebody gotta pay for this.
Is that AI?
I don't think it is, Ma.
Really?
I don't
This
think
looks
it
like a
is.
So
parody.
unbelievable.
Like it looks like somebody mocking a certain sector of people.
I thought it was fake at first too, but then I seen about 7 or 6 of these videos.
Oh, I'm sure it's real because people
I've
are
seen
very
some too.
entitled to other
Wrap 'em
people's.
off. I was my mic was on mute. I was saying I seen about 6 or 7 of these videos.
I've seen some too.
And the thing about it that is very, very embarrassing is this usually a certain demographic of people. And what they've been saying recently is, oh, if y'all ain't gonna give me EBT, I'm going in that store and I'm stealing everything.
The one that I saw was a mom who had 3 kids, and when hers got
Just
cut
speak
off,
speak up a little bit.
it was the one that I saw was a mom who she said she had 3 kids, and she was upset because she got this letter that said she was going to have to do community service
Yeah.
in order to earn the EBT card.
Oh.
She's like, I have 3 kids. When am I supposed to do community service? I was like, lady, I have 4 and I work full time and I don't even get EBT. Nobody's giving me a handout. This is your job as a mother.
Why do people, what makes people think they deserve anything from anybody? Yeah, you can't do nothing to get your whole self fed. You don't
Right.
look at life as if you should pay anything back.
Because they lazy, they mama was lazy, and they mama's was lazy.
Do you think that?
What are they teaching their kids though?
It's a generational thing, right? They grow up expecting that. It's just like people who get the what is it where the kids get all of the, not saying that the kids don't have issues, but they all want their kids to be tested so that they can get what is it? SSI. It's like nothing wrong with your kid. Well, I'm having tested to get SSI because you got this,
Explain
you got
that,
that.
what that even means. What are people doing?
They are basically, if they can say that their child has any type of disability
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever, it could be anxiety, it could be
Yep.
autism, it could be dyslexia, it could be a multitude of things.
I've seen
And if
somebody
they can
try to get
apply
on
to
it
the
for
government,
anger management.
right?
Exactly.
And if they can apply to the government and the government will give them funds if that's considered a disability for your child.
Yeah, that's insane.
So people look forward to that, to getting their kids diagnosed.
This is how
with
bad
something.
it is. I've seen people with these vlogs on the internet explaining how to get your kid to get him to have a disability so you can get more money on your check. That to me is insane. Like,
I'm not saying that some kids don't have disabilities. I'm not saying that, and that some people don't need help. But it's just that
well, you shouldn't be rewarded
right?
for it.
It's like, I don't know how money fixes that.
It don't.
Well, also, it's not the government's job to do all that. The churches and community organizations
Exactly.
should be set up to help those people because you can do it better and more effectively
Yep.
locally. It
hmm
should never, the church should have never advocated that responsibility to the government, and the government should have never taken it. And it is not the government's responsibility to feed all of its people. It's its responsibility to get out the way so people can eat, so people can go have a job and not have to be taxed. There's people on benefits that have more opportunities and more stuff than we have, and their kids have more opportunities
Remember
than our
that
kids have.
video that went viral like 5 years ago? The lady taking her EBT card and getting lobster and shrimp. And I'm thinking, what? So y'all, I don't even like lobster and shrimp, but I still was like, how are you buying this expensive stuff with my money? So we pay taxes so that you can live it up. And then not only that, but if you pay attention to the video, remember that video I talked about with the guy who wrote for Chris Brown? He had, and everybody in that room had Versace on. I'm like, dude, y'all got on $800 shirts talking about you got an EBT card? You can't sell that shirt and buy some groceries? You got to look fresh? It just shows like their hierarchy of what they think is important is messed up. So that's why you can't pay your bills, because you're irresponsible. It has nothing to do with you actually needing anything or you can't pay for your kids. You had all those kids because you was irresponsible. And I'm of the belief, and I know this is harsh, that if you want to have all those children, we should let you get what you get. If your kids starve and die, we should charge you for child neglect. We don't need to assist you and help you when you continue to have kids when you know the situation you're in. You're not getting married. You got 18 different baby daddies and 14 kids. And so now...
The math ain't mathin'.
Yeah.
And so now you want some help from the government. No,
Well-
we I don't think we should help you.
I think it does also hurt the very people that it's designed to help.
Yep.
We had it at one point, like
Yep.
you were saying, you were on it. It's meant to get you through a rough patch.
Exactly.
It's meant to help you temporarily until you can. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not meant to be your budget. Like, it's
Here's the
not meant to
thing.
be a lifeline forever.
Yep. And I don't want people to think that I'm against government assistance 100%. Because like you said before, there is times where somebody needs to get on their feet and we as a community can help them. But I would rather that help come from church instead of the government. If it does come from the government, then I would like it to be temporary. And for you to have to work on a program to get off of it, not to stay on it. And you shouldn't be incentivized by the government to stay on it as long as possible.
I think that's what's missing a little bit too. Like when you look at the example of that lady, it takes the pressure off of the people who should be trying to do better. Like you
Yep.
have 7 fathers and you're mad that the government is taking away money. Where are the 7 men? They don't have that pressure on them anymore to take care of these kids because the government will do it.
Yep.
They don't have to. They can go make 7 more with 7 other women.
And they will. Let's play this video, Mr. Producer. What's the next one? It's the same type of thing.
Coming up.
When you get it up,
Yep.
we'll play it.
Here we go.
Pay his job to pay for
Oh,
my
man.
kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of.
A viral video is reigniting debate over America's welfare programs. Multiple social media users have recently vented their frustration over EBT and SNAP systems, has sparked heated discussions online after he claimed government assistance programs are widely abused, pointing to examples of individuals pulling up in a Mercedes-Benz or buying lobster tails with EBT. While he acknowledges that some families genuinely need help, he calls the majority of cases a big joke, accusing lazy parents of setting their children up for failure. He even advises young viewers to join the military to build discipline and stability instead of relying on assistance. The video has drawn mixed reactions. Some viewers agree with his criticism of welfare abuse, while others say he's overlooking the real struggles of low-income families who depend on programs like EBT to survive. What are your thoughts? If you're interested, please share your ideas with me.
It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids.
So, what do you guys do? You guys think that it would be the right thing to do to limit, like, even if somebody really needed it? Say you have a family and you have a widow, right? And her husband just died and he used to pay the majority of the bills and she got 3 kids. Is it the right thing to do to limit her SNAP or her EBT card to where she can only buy healthy food? and stuff that the government deems as healthy.
Absolutely. Like, I don't
Yes.
think you should be able to just go, because then you're also factoring in the health, and now you're expecting us to pay your medical bills now that you ate all this unhealthy stuff. And not everybody does that, but yeah, they should limit it to the essentials of what you need for survival, which
Yeah.
rice, beans, fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. Do y'all
Yeah.
remember in the Old Testament how they had that program that the Hebrews used to function at? Yeah, the gleaning. And was it called gleaming or gleaning? Yeah, so what they would have is that early in the morning, the people would be able to have a part of their field that you can come and pick food from, but you had to come there and pick it yourself and gather it yourself. And then after a certain time, you could not. And everybody who had and owned these fields had to have a time where people could come pick those foods. And the theme of it and the thing that was so wise about it was you're only getting enough you can carry, right? And you had to come and pick it yourself. It wasn't delivered to you. So it made you work, but it also rewarded you. And the people who had these fields with the food that was prosperous, it was a certain amount of time. You didn't get to just pull up with a truck and take all their food.
You couldn't sell it.
Yeah, and you couldn't sell it. So it's so much godly wisdom in that.
One of the things that my husband and I were talking about when we first had our babies, we're like, why doesn't EBT function like WIC does? And remember when we had babies and WIC would they would help any mother that had like a child under, I think 5, and you could get certain things, like you could get peanut butter, you can get milk, you could get rice for the baby, and you can get a certain amount of fruits and vegetables. I was like, why doesn't EBT function like that? Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's because it's government incentives to keep people enslaved. They want to keep you mentally enslaved so that they can control you. I don't honestly think, and this is another crazy take, I think that if you're taking from the government and not giving anything, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. I don't think that. No, I'm dead serious. If all you do is you don't pay taxes, you're on EBT, everybody pays for you, and you have a built-in incentive to vote for higher taxes, to just vote for anything to take and give, which our whole government, a democratic republic, was made so that people wouldn't do that. It was made so the bigger states like New York couldn't just go to Ohio and take everything from them just because they had and you didn't. But then we go to government systems and we allow people, the majority of people can just be poor and say, I don't ever want to work, and still have a tax incentive to do that. They can vote and say, I vote higher taxes for people who have the middle class, the people who are actually the working class American, to tax them and give it to me. That's not fair. I think if you don't work and contribute, if you don't pay no taxes, you shouldn't get a say in what the government does.
I also think it goes back to the earlier point with marriage, is it's complete selfishness. Because when you abuse a system and you're saying you have to work, but I don't, to get this, it's just pure selfishness. And there's no sense of duty. There's no sense of, what do I owe my neighbor?
Yep.
What do I owe my nation? We have moved so far away from the not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And we've just gone into give me, give me, give me.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I think it's sad because not only does it destroy potential when they give away free stuff like this, but it destroys creativity. It destroys people's hard work ethic. It destroys pretty much everything that makes you a better person. It's like the same thing when they did a test on these rats, where the rats would not have to work. Like, they would make them. Did you see that? You heard that? Do you remember it?
And eventually, like, they
gave.
Like, retarded, but they were like,
yeah, go ahead. You can speak. Yours is on mute, ain't it? If you might remember the test better than I do.
But I do remember that they had rats that would work for their food, and then they started giving it to them, and eventually, they did not know how to get the food when it was like right in front of them. Like eventually they lost their ability to
Yep.
provide for themselves, even when they made it really simple. Because at the beginning, like they would go through a maze and get the whatever it
Mm-hmm.
was, and then like they put it closer and closer. And eventually, like they just put it right next to them. And then when it was after they did that so many times, when they put it further away, the rat was like, I don't know how to get it. It's all the way over there.
Yeah.
And it's like before they could go through hoops and bounds to get it, but now when it's within reach and in sight, they
Yep.
couldn't even get it.
I heard that they did another test where they did that test for a long time, and the rat started smoking weed and shooting up other rats. And making rap songs about it. The rats got together, called themselves the Rat Pack. Started making drill music. This is what the black community is.
Rats. I was gonna say that's why in the black community, whenever you can never people do not value something they don't work for. It's just the nature of human beings.
Yep.
And this might be a disconnect, but that's why black communities cannot have all you can eat restaurants. because they can't keep them open because they go into the restaurant and they think because they paid $8 for a meal, they want to eat all day long, and they don't consider that all you can eat means at that time and at that moment. They just want to stay there and pile up their plates and eat and eat.
Have you seen this?
Yes. And do you see any all-you-can-eat restaurants in the black community?
That is true. I
You
never
can't
even
keep-
thought about
You can't
that.
keep them. They always on the outskirts because black people lose their mind if they think there's something is gonna be. It's a free for all. Like you go in there and you can get all you can eat. That is like a magic potion to you.
And it's so inconsiderate. You know, somebody has to pay for that. Somebody's working there. Like, geez.
I never really thought about that. No all you can eat places in the black community.
And we have to open
You're right.
because we know how to do it.
I never even thought about that. But it's true. I don't think I've ever seen like a Golden Corral in the hood nowhere.
And all the Ponderosas
It
that
used to
used to
be
be there are all closed.
They all closed. Ponderosa used to have some good chicken.
Ponderosas.
Man. And now look what y'all done
Old
did.
Country Buffet done moved out.
Yep. Old Country Buffet. All these
They're all
spots.
gone. There's no more.
Yep.
Even Boston Market is gone. No buffet is there at all.
So I sent us down a rabbit hole.
No, I didn't even think about that, but that's very
It's a valid
true.
point.
That being said, let's go to our next topic, which is Alibaba. And this is going to be on X, formerly known as Twitter. And let's see if I can pull it up. And this one is going to be here.
Is this the Blaze one?
Yeah, and let me know when you're ready to play it, and I'll show it to them, because I'll show it to them. Oh, no. Sorry, y'all. I spilled something.
I got it. You ready?
Actually, no. I'll play it on my phone. That way I don't have to turn my whole screen around.
Okay. All right.
Give me 1 second. Who knows who Allie Beth Stuckey is? Remember when she did the what is it called? She did like the 21st one?
She did the Jubilee Surrounded.
Yeah.
I think it's
and
called.
she did really good.
Mhm.
I thought she
She's
did really
good.
well.
She's very balanced.
Can y'all explain that? Mom, like
So
give a general.
Surrounded is where one person will sit at a table and then it's literally chairs all around, and they'll be on various topics. So they'll have like one conservative versus a bunch of libs, or they'll flip flop, and then hers was with progressive Christianity versus conservative Christianity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And she did really, really well. She represented conservative Christians against liberal Christians, basically. And I don't even think it's a such thing as a liberal Christian, to be honest. But okay, she did this speaking thing at what is it? TP? Was it TP USA?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
Turning Point USA.
Yeah, Turning Point USA. And I know I'll give my thoughts afterwards. But
Feminism has failed women. Second one, are you ready? Are you ready? That feminism has failed women. Second one, are you ready? Are you ready? Porn has weakened men. And you know, Charlie was so good at talking about this and so good at talking so courageously and sternly and clearly to the young men.
Here's what we know about porn and why it is so detrimental, not only to men, although it disproportionately affects men. Porn objectifies women and children. It commercializes sex, which is a gift from God for a married couple between one man and one woman, and it glorifies violence. It creates addiction and shame. It destroys marriages. It ruins your perception of other people. It is the legal loophole for sex trafficking. It is evil in every way, and it will destroy your life. And this is what I would want to say to men, and I hope that you hear it from strong men in your life, that men, we need you. And we need your masculinity, and we need your strength, and we need your boldness, and we need your courage, and we need those things to be harnessed for good. We need you to be solid pastors. We need you to be strong leaders. We need your voice. We need you to bravely stand up for the most vulnerable, to stand up for women and children and for the unborn, to raise a respectful ruckus for the things that matter. We need really strong men, and porn makes you weak.
All right, did you guys see anything controversial about that to conservatives?
No.
No.
Nothing? This is not a trick question.
No, I didn't see
No,
anything
just that it's
Because
a
the
woman saying
internet
it.
went crazy.
Oh.
I'm just
Okay,
letting y'all
what
know.
part? Really?
The internet went absolutely crazy, and especially
Because she
men.
said it made
what
you
part?
weak.
No, I'm gonna read some of the comments.
Oh.
I was gonna have Mr. Producer read some, but I didn't have any in particular that I pointed out. It's so many of them. Oh my gosh, they went nuts.
You would think that they would like that.
You would think.
Same
I
thing.
really, and this is what you know what I'll say. I'll read what I wrote later, but all right, here's one of the top comments. Have you noticed nobody ever lectures women on how to be better women? And then one of them says, feminist bitch. Another one says, quote, men, we need you to do what we want.
These are
Yes. Another one says, women, we need you to shut up, get back in the kitchen, have babies, and let us do our job in peace. Another one says, porn is bad. It objectifies women. And then it says, your dad says, you can't go out of the house dressed like that. I can see your butt. A sports bra is not a shirt. You may as well be wearing paint. Girls say, shut up, mothers. That's just how the kids dress these days. Also women. Why won't men lead? Here's another comment. Women need to stop lecturing men about how to be men. Ladies, shut the F up. Wow. Another comment. And I'm just reading them down the line. They never lecture women on how to be better women. Notice that? All right. So, and this, I'll give what I think this is uncovering. Because this is a little bit deep. What I think is the men of society are very, very angry right now. And one of the reasons why they're angry is they feel like they're unjustifiably being held to account and women are not being held to account at all. But what I think they're doing wrong in this instance is she didn't say anything wrong. You're using this is not the platform you need to pick on her. She said everything right, and I have no problem with anything she said. I stand behind it 100%. But what they're doing is they're so beat down by everything on the internet, especially conservative women. They do this thing, and they've been doing this thing where they only criticize men. They will never tell a wife that she has to do anything right, that she can do anything better. In fact, we just discussed a video just a few weeks ago from Christians, a Christian group, where they were given all type of godly excuses why a wife shouldn't love her, why she shouldn't have to love her husband, why she shouldn't be intimate with her husband, why you should understand if you're a man, if you have to do the chores. This is Christians. And men, I think, are getting so sick of that they're letting their anger out unjustifiably. And this is what I think is like, this is what I will say as a correction to men. when somebody says something right, it could be a woman, it could be a child, it could be an atheist. It's still right. This is not the time to jump on somebody's back and say, well, you're a feminist because you're speaking publicly. That's a stupid argument to make. Is what she said right or not? You
Not
know?
only that, they're taking on the wrong one.
Yeah.
She's doing things right. She has a godly marriage. She is a mother. She talks about motherhood and the joys of motherhood. She talks. Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was just talking about her testimony. She isn't the one running around in a sports bra, acting like she's not trying to gain attention, but really is, and trying to objectify herself. She's not doing that. She's simply saying this. And if you listen to her, she really is saying it out of love. Like you can tell in her voice and her demeanor, she is passionate about this. And it sounds like she's kind of picking that up from where Charlie Kirk was speaking of.
Yeah.
And she even said in the beginning, and I like that she said this, I hope you hear this from a strong man in your life.
Yeah.
Like she's not saying, well, I'm going to say it because the men aren't saying it.
Right. I don't think she came with the attitude of, I'm going to get you told. I think that men are being way hypersensitive on this issue.
All those comments read like, you will take my porn from my cold dead hands.
That's what it felt like to me. And I'm not even trying, y'all, anybody who watches me knows I am not all about like, oh, we gonna cater to these women and never tell them they're wrong. I really have a big chunk of my channel is saying Christians need to hold women accountable just like they do men, because women are sinners just like men are, and all of society caters to women now. But this is what I think though. It's a shame that you can't even say something blatantly true without me. Why are y'all jumping up? This is not the heel to
That's all
die
they're
on.
doing. They're just deflecting. It's just like when you talk to kids, like you're in trouble because you just like, well, what about so-and-so? I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I will deal with so-and-so when I get to them. I'm dealing with you right now, and you need to worry about you.
Exactly. I think it's disgusting how they responded to this, and I don't think if that was the case, then can a woman say anything? Like so she a feminist if she says anything, even if it's biblically right? A woman can't have a channel and say porn is bad without being a feminist?
Well, I think it's even crazier too because she came so respectfully. Like, I get there are a lot of women like, you didn't do the dishes, blah, blah, blah. You know, they'll nag you to death, and I've done it at times. But that's not how she came.
Yeah.
She did not do that at all. It's just insane to me that is the reaction.
Yes.
And I highly doubt that was the whole speech. So what else did she address, or what else has she addressed in the past? Like, they want to cherry pick this one thing? I don't know. It's weird.
I think when you try to take something from somebody that they love, they will hate you.
Yep.
And she's calling them out. And so, like Chantel said, they're going to deflect. It's almost like what was being taught on Sunday about, when Adam ate the fruit, he blamed it on Eve. Okay, he said, well, it was, the fact of the matter is you ate it. And so people, they don't like you to take the things from them that they love, whether it's evil.
Yep.
They don't want you to say, this is evil, it weakens you, is wrong. Instead of them receiving that, they are not.
It doesn't matter who says it either. If somebody says, I don't care if a liberal, flaming gay liberal, comes up on my show and says that pornography is wrong. It's still wrong. I don't need to be like, he's gay and he's a liberal, so we shouldn't listen to what he says. I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Your life, it may be messed up and you may need to change to honor God with your life, but that doesn't change the fact that what this person said is right. Y'all got to stop. And it makes me mad because that's as a man, it's a very feminine thing to do, to get in your feelings when you know the facts. If somebody says, hey man, your shoes untied, why are you always looking at me? That's a very feminine way to respond. You should say, okay, yeah, man, my shoe is untied. Let me tie it. You don't be sitting over here crying about it. The dude's crying because I don't understand why they're doing this. Well, actually, I do understand, and that's what I want to address next.
Well, I think too on this, I think it's much easier to put her in the feminism box than to truly listen to what she's saying.
Yes, she never rubbed me as a feminist, dude. I've seen her do one of them because you used to watch her all the time, and you still watch her, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the 1 verse 20, and I thought she did an excellent job, and people were hating on her then, and I was like, "What? I don't understand it."
Another thing, though, that has been irking me for quite some time, I feel like in the Christian community, especially, there's a lot of nitpicky.
Yep.
And they want to pick and pick and pick. And it's like, but you're not out there doing it. You're not out there defending your point of view in a loving way. And it really bothers me because you look on comments of any strong Christian leader and I'm just like, who wants to deal with this? And I get why people are like, the church is so judgmental because you have that. And it's not right. Like, it shouldn't keep you out of the pews, or out of the seats. But it is annoying that you're doing everything that God is calling you to do. And you still have this large group of people saying they're Christians, critiquing
not only that, but she's
syllable.
she's at a public speaking event. She's not a pastor. Some people are saying women shouldn't preach. She's not preaching. She even said women shouldn't be pastors.
Yeah, she called the men to be pastors.
She said women shouldn't be pastors. She's not trying to preach. She's just at a speaking event where they asked her to come and she spoke the truth. How you gonna be mad at that? That kind of angers me because it's like, okay, so at this event, should she just said, I'm going to let men speak even though they paid me to do it? No, she's a public figure. She said what was right. She used her platform to say something true. If it's true, then just let it stand. Why would you ever be mad at something true? In the black community, we do this all the time. They say, too many black men are in jail. Why don't you talk about white people? It's our community. I'm talking about black people because I'm black and I care about my community. When you talk about men, she cares about men. How you gonna be mad that she says one of the biggest problems that we have in society right now is that testosterone is constantly dropping and men don't know how to be men anymore, and it goes right along, it correlates right with porn consumption. And one of the reasons why that's such a problem is because women still want masculine men. And if you still over here getting your jollies off to a video, you're not gonna be as masculine as you could be. It don't take a man to say that for it to be true. A woman can say that. She can be like, this is not right.
And to be honest, women should be saying it. I'm going to say it to my sons. Is it wrong for me to tell my sons that they shouldn't get into porn?
No, it's not wrong. And I think it should come from both. You should hear a woman's perspective. As a man, you want to hear a woman's perspective of how these things can damage your household from a soft, gentler, compassionate perspective. And then you need that perspective from a man that's going to kick you in the butt and say, do not do this. I think you need both. But to say you only need one. But here's the thing, and this is what I want to address too, because we do have to address this. Part of the anger that I see, it does come from a place of there's too many conservative women who pretend to be conservative, and then they prop up somebody like Nala, who used to be a former porn star, and they hold her to no account, and they let her come speak at a TPUSA event as well. So I do have that against them, and a lot of men seen that, and they were like, dude, how y'all gonna have this girl who was just doing adult material last week, and she literally had her OnlyFans up?
Well, and did she get saved and changed?
She said she got saved and changed, but here's the problem. She made a lucrative, she did this and then her money started dropping, right? She got saved and then she made this video and she said, I lost a lot of money. Next thing you know, she puts out this video of her baking a cake, right? I'm just gonna explain it. She was baking a cake and she did all this sexual stuff. Oh. She was massaging a little thing like this, doing all types of inappropriate stuff, licking the thing and doing his face like she in so ecstasy. And people are like, didn't you just say you became a Christian?
Oh,
not once did she correct herself and say that was wrong. Not once did she stop ever being on social media and say, you know what, maybe I should take a break from social media. I used to do this OF stuff. I used to be in straight up adult films. But nope. She just went and they just accepted her and they didn't critique her. And any man who came out and said, hey, you know what, she need to stop, they critiqued them. They said, and that's the problem. I think a lot of men and where their anger is seated because they like y'all not holding them accountable at all. And I do think they have some points with that. What do y'all think about that?
I think they do have a point. Like the women do need to be held accountable for that because that is hypocrisy right there. But who is she marketing it to? You can't
Christians.
consume it and criticize it at the same time.
That's true, but that's still blaming men though.
I'm not saying I'm blaming them exactly, but like I said, she needs to stop. She needs to be corrected.
Right.
That is a fact. But if people didn't consume it, she would have no audience.
True, but do you blame the drug dealer or the drug user?
Both.
Right. You blame them both. But here's the problem. If you just went and said, hey, y'all, stop arresting these drug dealers. If people wasn't using it, they wouldn't be selling it.
I would say arrest both.
You can, but that's not what's being said. It's only being told to men, stop consuming it. But then they don't tell the women. They tell the women, you can be a spokesperson for all of conservatism. If you just stop in 1 week, you can be one.
So I'm kind of surprised that that's true because I see a lot of, just on social media, the things that I follow, when I see conservative women or I see even like trad wives and stuff like that,
right?
They get a ton of criticism from, I don't know if it's always from their fans, but just people telling them to take their stuff down or what kind of wife they're supposed to be. You get a lot more of those like comments.
I don't think
anything
it's,
else.
here's the thing that I think the criticism, some of it is warranted and some of it can just be hate, right? Everybody who puts your stuff on the internet, you're going to get some amount of hate. But what I've seen, especially in a lot of like conservative churches and they are very, very wary to hold women accountable. They really are. Like they're completely scared.
I think with the audience, like if you're going to be loud about something, you need to be loud about everything.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to correct this person loud and publicly, and then this other person does the same thing, but I pull them to the side. I do think that if you're going to be loud, then be loud. And I think that's what their feelings like, okay, you're all loud about the men, but you're quiet about the women.
I think even if you go, even in our church, for instance, our church is very, very masculine, very, very patriarchal. We got a bunch of men that lead, and I'm proud of that. But even in our church, if you were to do and say, women, we're going to focus on, people would still be like weary about that. And part of that is because I don't think people realize how deep feminism has indoctrinated our society to where if you even say, women, y'all can do better, people will not like that. If you go and you say men need to be better fathers, we'll agree. You come to a group of Christian women, have them come to a retreat and say women need to be better mothers. Imagine what would happen. I'm just talking about women from all over the United States. And just get them there and say, we got to be better mothers. It would never work. It would never work.
It wouldn't work on the majority anyway.
Majority.
Yeah, because there's
which
some.
Is what matters because we're talking about the majority. We can't just pinpoint, small you here who might agree and you there who might agree. I'm talking about the majority, the American church. If you go and say, even just a phrase like this, women should submit to their husbands. Imagine the freak out you would get if I'm trying to think of somebody who's very, very popular. Matt Walsh. If he just came and made a video, women should submit to their husbands. What would happen? He would lose
tons
viewership.
Of backlash, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that people pretend they want this concern, but they don't really want to follow God because the feminism that has led into our culture is so deeply rooted. I think we don't want to admit it. And the men have accepted it too because they being weak and soft about it.
But it's frustrating for them too. You can see that.
They're very frustrated and it's hard for me to say justified because you should never be sitting over here arguing for porn. That's stupid. As a conservative, that should never be the hill you want to die on. Knowing the damage it does, knowing how much it corrupts our young boys and our young girls. But I see where they're coming from when they say, hey, this is really lopsided. It's only one-sided. You would never, and then you got to ask, okay, she stood up and she got on the podium. Could you say the opposite and get that applause? Could you say we need y'all women to stop acting like whores? We need y'all to stop. It's some crazy amount. Like 20% of all 18 to 24-year-olds is on OnlyFans. 20%. Nobody talks about this. And then they had this another statistic that was talking about like how many young girls have how many partners they've had. And it was like it's so far above the amount that young men have at that same age group. So it shows a problem. And the problem is the young women are sleeping around with whoever, and the young men cannot find a date. And so the problem that I think a lot of young men are having is that nobody is addressing that. And then when they go to look for a wife, they get some girl who used to have an OnlyFans. I wouldn't marry a girl who used to have no OnlyFans. Never. But they're expected to, and they're being told by the church, just forgive her. She's a Christian now. I would tell you, I wouldn't do it. Y'all look sad. We almost done, y'all.
Well, I was gonna say, I think for me, it's hard to look at that and say, how do we fix that? Because a lot of the women that are doing what you're saying, they're being good moms, they're raising, being good wives. They're quiet. They're in the background. They don't want to be in the forefront because they're busy. Like, I don't have time to sit here and worry about all the 20% of women that are on OnlyFans. Does it break my heart? Yes. Is it gross? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think that that is wrong and they need to be corrected? Yes. I
Yeah.
think they need men in their life to tell them, especially if they had a dad, like, this is not becoming of a young lady.
I guess part of the thing when I say when we got to hold both sides accountable, I want men's groups and men with platforms to hold men accountable and to hold women. But I would like to see more women hold women and men, not just men. Where they're saying
Yeah,
what
I
men could
think-
do better. I would love to see them do a whole presentation on what women could do better.
To
I
be
just
honest,
don't think
though,
I'll see it.
I would like to see less of these women conservative talkers that really are just covert feminists. I would like
yeah.
to see them disappear because I don't think that they should have a platform. I think that they are ruining the community. They're the same. They're no different than the people on the other side. Like, get your job, get your bag, take care of yourself. Don't
What
depend
is
on a
that?
man.
What's her name? Something Saves America.
Was it
What is her name?
Emily or something?
Yeah,
was one
Emily
of them.
Saves America.
But she's not the only
Terrible.
one.
Yeah.
There's more like her, and they're the ones given the biggest platform, or like
Yes.
the Nala, because her story is interesting. And if she truly is saved, praise the Lord. But like you said, and I forget where this is in scripture, but it even says like new people should take a step back. Like, if you
Yeah.
just became a believer, you should not go be teaching. And so they need to heed that advice.
Yeah.
And I think people can easily say that about Kanye now, but are they saying this about her?
Yeah.
And that's my frustration. I actually wish that they didn't have as large of a platform and that they would honestly just be quiet and go away.
For the ones who are not real, yeah.
The ones that are not real, yes.
And you kind of wonder like how deep the mindset is, because I saw this meme that made me laugh at first, and now I'm thinking about it twice since we had this conversation. But it was like the Mother's Day message, like, we love you, we appreciate you, you do so much. The Father's Day message, like, you suck and you need to improve. And I laughed, but I was like, you know what? Maybe we do have this society where the women are secretly running the families, and you know that if you offend the mom or
You
the
ain't
wife,
getting no money.
the whole family is being taken out. And, maybe we need to let some of those people get taken out and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. All right. This is the last thing, okay, y'all? So no, but I want Mr. Producer, you got it's one of the last things I had up. There we go. Can you read that story for us? This is wait, before y'all even do this. Have y'all ever heard of Reddit?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, Reddit is full of a bunch of liberal men, right? They super weak, they super soft. And this is just one. I got a bunch of stories, but I selected this. I want y'all to hear this. If it got any curse words in it, you don't have to say them, okay, Mrs. Producer? But I want to read this story, and you tell me, before we even give solutions to the story.
Is it one of those like, am I the?
I want you to tell me what type of man you think this is. Go ahead. You can read it, Mr. Producer.
All right. Here we go. My 22 male... I can't even read this title. It's all messed up here, so I'm just going to skip that. I'm going to go right to the heart of this here. So I and my girlfriend were on call because someone, and she asked me hypothetically if I'd still be with her if she transitioned into a man. And this is a question she has asked me multiple times over our 3-year-long relationship. And I always answered that I thought I would still love her and still want to be with her, even though I'm not attracted to men, and I would want to try to maintain our relationship. This time, she freaked out when I answered that I would still want to try, and if it doesn't work out, well, break up. We have been fighting about it for the past 2 days, and I don't know how to even approach this because she says that it's not because she'll actually become a man, and in a situation like that, I'm only thinking of myself and not her, and how she would be willing to be by my side, even if I decided I want to become a woman, even though she's queer and she says it's because I don't love her unconditionally. I've tried my best to reassure her that even though she'll change in the relationship physically due to time and other factors, I'll always continue loving her no matter what. I've told her I'd continue to love her even if she hypothetically transitioned and explained to her me saying, wow, this is just weird. Explain to her me saying we'd break up is a last resort, worst case scenario, which most likely still wouldn't happen. And she told me she was mad that I said it to begin with. I explained to her I meant that in a situation where both of us either were unhappy because we couldn't get used to that change, again, hypothetically. And she said if we were to break up in that situation, we might as well end our relationship now because she's not happy with my response.
How
Is that the
can
end
I
of the story?
fix this?
They both sound like losers.
Him more than her, though.
Yes.
Him definitely more than her, because he is so desperate to have somebody be his partner that he will take whatever. Because this shouldn't even be a conversation. Like
what?
And she's asked this multiple times. That should have been the end. End it now. Like what?
This dude gotta be the zestiest, most liberal blue-haired dude on the planet.
But he also has no self-respect.
Could be zesty.
You have no self-respect because you can't even voice an opinion. You've asked me a hypothetical question, and I gave you an answer, and you don't like my answer to your question that you say is never going to happen anyway.
Yeah. But even the fact that you think of being a man,
questions. If you don't want to, I'm not going to ask my husband a question I don't want to know the answer to.
That ain't true because all women do that.
No, I mean, I'm not going to ask him something like that.
Not like that. But does this dress make me look fat?
Well, yeah. Like, you know, we had conversations like, okay, if I died, would you remarry? Like that kind of thing. I'm not going to argue with him about it. It hasn't happened. And if it does happen, I'm not going to be here. But I picture somebody, you ask me what kind of man I think that is. It's a child. He is immature. I think it is somebody who doesn't know what real relationships are. I think it's somebody who's so desperate to have somebody at their side that they will keep this person who clearly doesn't
Is it a
want them.
liberal man or a conservative man?
That's a liberal man. It has to be.
Now, what do you think of the woman?
It's a liberal woman.
Now, what do you, think about her, like, as far as personality and all that? Like, same stuff you said about the dude.
I think
she probably got green hair.
I don't think she even really likes this guy.
She definitely got armpit hair.
I don't think she even likes this man that she's in a relationship with.
No. Yes, definitely.
I think she's just keeping him around because it's convenient and she's looking for an excuse to break up with him.
Absolutely.
She keep bringing up the same argument.
She don't respect him at all.
At all. I don't even think you want this man. Go be with a woman because that's what you want to do.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually think she's probably like on the cuter end. Like probably petite, blonde hair. I don't know why blonde hair, but
I don't think she would be cute.
But no, like the reason
if you're
I
thinking
say
of
that,
transitioning,
well, I don't think she's actually thinking of transitioning like that.
No,
I think
ahead.
that she just is asking these. She probably asks the others dumb questions too. Yes, like just wait, what? That was a
question that was going around the internet for a while. Girls were asking their boyfriend, "Would you still love me if I were a worm?"
Yeah, so she's
No.
asking dumb questions like this all the time, but she knows that she can manipulate him too. Because I mean, if it was somebody that he was with just to keep him comfortable, but he knew he could get somebody else just the same as that person, he probably wouldn't. But this is somebody above his level in his eyes, like somebody who is prettier than him, and he by far is wearing
He's on the
skinny-
internet asking for advice.
Yeah, he need to trade in his skinny jeans and stop drinking the soy lattes and hit the gym.
I think it's too late.
Oh
If
my
you-
God.
if
I mean,
that
if he's
far
22, give him a
there a way you can
steak,
go to the
he'll be
next
all
one?
right.
Wait, mommy didn't know.
Oh no. I was just gonna say they both
No.
sound delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem perfect for each other.
I read that one.
Which one?
That one with the mom with the 5 kids. Like, this is 5 paychecks. This is 5 bags. Like, I read that one.
We was gonna go over that.
I thought of that while we were having this conversation here.
She had 5 kids.
She had 5 kids, 5 different dads, and she's like, "You other moms are missing out because this is 5 different paychecks. This is 5 different bags."
You know
I'm
what
getting-
though? Go to the other Reddit. It's another
My rent
Reddit.
is paid. My groceries are paid for. Like, oh, like, okay. So you're a prostitute.
It's the one.
And you're
Yeah, for the gay
You're
roommate
encouraging
one.
other women to be
All
as
right,
stupid.
all right, y'all pay attention. He got one. He got one more.
Is this another Reddit? Is this the AITH?
Yeah.
I actually follow
Am
that
I the
already.
butthole? Yeah,
I follow that
that.
already purely
I
for
follow that.
entertainment purposes. Because
I
these
don't
people
know none
need
of
help.
this
They
stuff.
probably can't hear you, Miss Chantel.
Oh,
Okay.
I was talking to you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Am I the A for telling my gay roommate not to call me daddy because it makes me uncomfortable? I, 29 male straight, share a house with 4 other people, including a gay roommate who is 29 and also male. We get along well overall. One night while hanging out and smoking on the patio, he called me daddy a few times during the conversation. I told him I'd rather he not call me that because it makes me uncomfortable, and the conversation ended soon after. About a month later, he called me daddy again.
Daddy.
I reminded him I had asked him not to, and he apologized, but also said, I thought you were an ally. I told him I support LGBTQ plus rights and have friends and family in the community, but that nickname just makes me uncomfortable. A separate time, he touched my shoulder while we were chatting in the kitchen, and I instinctively moved away. He noticed and asked if it made me uncomfortable, and I said yes.
Can you change the camera to them? My fault. Sorry. Yep.
He
Yeah.
hasn't done it twice. Or he hasn't done it since. Later, he asked if I'd ever watched Brokeback Mountain.
Oh my Lord.
I said I wasn't interested because I don't feel comfortable watching romantic scenes between men. He said that means I'm not an ally and that I have cinematic homophobia.
He trying to be up in that butt. That's
Yes.
what the
He wants the booty. How can anybody not see this?
Eventually, it's gonna.
You're homophobic if you don't open that butt to me.
That's what I was gonna say. Eventually, it's gonna be like you're not an ally if you don't have sex with a man.
That's what he
it's
means.
gonna
Who want to watch a romantic movie, a romantic gay movie with a grown man?
He didn't even finish the story.
My
Keep going,
fault,
Mr. Producer.
Mr. Producer.
We've got like one paragraph left, so we're good. These situations happen over the past year.
He's still with him. Okay, whatever. Go.
He gonna
Thinks
be a
my
boyfriend.
reactions show I'm not really supportive, but I feel like I've just been honest about my personal boundaries. Am I the A?
See, that's the problem.
I would
with
be like,
that
don't
whole
let the door
community.
hit you on the way out.
He probably would
Get
enjoy
out.
it.
Get out.
But that's the problem with that community. Is like they want everybody to accept what they want,
Yes.
but they're not respectful of other people's. He
Nope.
has clearly said, "I don't like when you do this."
Yeah.
You can't get more clear than that.
Yeah.
Because if it got physical, then that would be a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that,
If
they,
you can get to the phone to record it.
they always say, this is how we're born. We had no choice in this. This is how we're born. But if somebody else is like, I'm born with this,
Yeah.
I don't like all this, that's not okay. It's in like what you were saying, like you will accept us and you will embrace and celebrate and now you gotta take one for the team.
Yeah. Take one for the team. Look, and here's what's really crazy. He's obviously attracted to this man, right? He lives with him and he's trying to get him to watch movies, trying to get him to affirm his lifestyle. Why does he care so much what this dude thinks?
He's gonna be
Right.
in his bed.
He's gonna be in his bed. That's
or
why.
his shower.
Oh.
Talking about you homophobic if you don't watch a movie. with me?
Cinematic homophobe.
Cinematic homophobic. I didn't even know that was
my
a thing.
goodness.
Cinematic homophobia.
Oh my
Anything to be offended by.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What type of man do you think these? Well, we know one is gay. But what's the other dude?
He gonna be gay in a second.
He's gonna be gay.
By at a minimum.
By force.
Because he's gonna bet it, like they
Don't say bend.
that was an accident. But he's gonna keep. Well, I don't want to be labeled not an ally, and so he's gonna keep
Isn't
compromising.
this what
on-
liberalism does, though?
Always make you compromise.
Yeah,
right?
you
could
over
see-
here now. You have to be an ally.
I could see him going the other way though. He's like, you know what? I've tried to understand this community. I've tried to be thoughtful. I even had a gay roommate. They will not let me be me. Like maybe he will realize that.
I
They
don't
won't
think
let
you
me
would-
be straight in their presence. Like, why is this not okay?
Dude, they,
Hopefully that does open his eyes.
the gay community is not satisfied with anybody being straight.
No.
They want
never,
everybody gay. They made
never.
a song about it.
Because this man literally was the definition
Yes.
of an ally.
They
He really
do.
was.
Didn't they
A
make
song
that
about
song
the
where they
whole
were
world
singing?
being gay?
All the men got together singing in the choir saying, "We're coming for your children."
Yes, I remember that.
They did this
Who,
out in the
who
open.
does something like that?
Like, so, dude, they is not satisfied with you just being cool with them.
When I was at the gym, somebody had a bumper sticker that said "Everyone is gay" on the back of their car, and I was very tempted to put a post-it on there that said "For all have sinned and fallen short."
Well, first of all, everybody who think everybody is gay,
Wishful
it's just
thinking.
them. Everybody, I heard a dude having a conversation like that. I was like, dude, he was like, well, everybody a little bit gay. No, just you. Just you, because you the one trying to justify what you did on a late Saturday night when you got too drunk. That ain't me. I ain't never had no idea. I ain't never had no idea about no hairy man and how attract. Never. So anybody, like Mom said, I always quote Mom, who wants somebody who got the same stuff you got? What type of man? Like, dude, these people are not satisfied. I thought the story was super funny because it showed a weakness. When both of these men are super weak and they don't stand on anything. And it kind of goes with the theme of tonight. The men who don't stand for nothing. And then they get put in these situations where you can't disagree with your girlfriend when she want to transition to be a man, and you can't disagree with a gay dude who wants to watch a romantic TV show with you. What are you? And this is why women ain't attracted to a lot of these weak, soft, liberal dudes. If you a weak, soft, liberal man, I don't feel sorry when you cannot find a girlfriend. If you act like this, no man, no woman is gonna find it attractive when you can't stand on. You have no principles, no character, no integrity. What? Who finds that attractive? Yeah, yes. Brokeback Mountain men. So that's the last thing we was gonna cover today, you guys. Thank you guys for coming over and being a part of the show. Were you gonna say something, Mr. Producer? Oh, I was gonna say. But yeah, so you guys are welcome back to the show anytime. That's my sister Shant, I call her. My mom and Michelle, my wife. They will be on a show in the future, whether they want to or not. And we're going to try to get into even more deeper things. Thank you guys. If you like what you're hearing on the show, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. And we'll have even more guests. Next time, we're going to do all guys. No homosexual gay stuff, though. All guys. Real men. All right. See you guys next time. Peace out.